Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today, I admit, I've got a little bit of a glam look going on because we are going to be discussing all sorts of silver one and done eyeshadows. You know, kind of like the tinsel on our Christmas trees. We are going to be talking about the perfect holiday look. Now, this video took inspiration from some swatches I was doing for so many of you guys over on Instagram. If you haven't visited my Instagram page, please do. There we do a lot of swatch comparisons and things like that. It's kind of what I take over onto Instagram. And after Victoria Beckham Beauty released their mirror lid luster, which I am wearing on my eyes right this moment, right now. That is all I'm wearing. So many of you, because you are smart cookies who are interested in saving your money, I don't blame you. So many of you started going, wait a minute, could I get that look from silvers that I have in so many other palettes? And I was getting swatch comparison request after swatch comparison request. Say that 10 times fast. No, thank you. For different silver comparisons. And I started realizing there's a lot of really good silvers out there. And if you're doing, like I did today, a kind of one and done silver eye look for the holidays or whatever, wherever you might be going this season, I thought, let's take a look at as many as I could find in my own collection that I really, really love. Now that's where you guys will come in. Let me know which ones I accidentally forgot. I am sure there are a lot and I will be kicking myself. And also let me know some that I might not have forgotten but you think still should have been included in there. That's for you guys in the comments below, please. Okay, so as I told you, this all started with Victoria Beckham releasing the lid luster. Now we're gonna have a lot of swatches here, guys, and I promise we will get the big swatch finale with all of them in the California sunlight. So you will be able to see them all out of studio light as well. Let's start though with this lovely lid luster that I have done on my eyes today, as I told you, from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is kind of what started it all. And here it is on my arm in studio light. The reason it's so far over is I'm making room to accumulate all of them on there. We want to look at them all together. The interesting thing, so the Victoria Beckham Beauty lid luster started this all in that mirror shade. When I started to look at silver shades, you can kind of go a little bit wild because silver can lean lilac or violet, silver can lean pink, and of course there is multi-chrome and duochrome silvers which go purple and all sorts of shades. To just give ourselves some parameters so that we weren't here forever today. We all have places to be, but silver is so fun. But just to give us some parameters, I stuck with this is an interesting point here. I stuck with what to the naked eye seemed like straightforward, tinsely mirrored silver like the Victoria Beckham. But it's really interesting. So I skipped the lilacs. I skipped all the multi-chromes and stuff. You won't see those in here. Straightforward, sparkly silver. I skipped matte grays. No mattes or anything. We're talking just stuff that would kind of rival that Victoria Beckham mirror shade. But it's interesting, you guys, because as these shades and swatches build on my arm, look, I'm bouncing up and down. I'm excited. As these shades build on my arm, you'll see that no matter how I tried, they still take different tones. Some go more gray. Some do end up going gold or pink, even though that wasn't my intention when I swatched them. It is interesting the lives they take on. Let's move on to the second palette that I immediately thought of. And by the way, Victoria Beckham also released her Sea Gray eyeliner, which I'm wearing today too, and that's also really a pretty silver, so I thought I would mention it. How many of you got the Scott Barnes Mesmerize palette? It is a limited edition palette, but you can still find it, you guys, on sale at quite a few places. This has two really pretty silvers in it. Liquid Mercury, which is up top there, and Infinity down below. Those are super pretty, and it's got these two black shades as well. Those are really pretty. Let's take a look at those right now on my arm next to Victoria Beckham all the way to the left. Then we have the Scott Barnes Mesmerized in Liquid Mercury first and then Infinity. I am going to start labeling them. You will see what I do here in a moment. But first I just wanted to show you those three, and we're going to start building them before we take them outside to look at them in the outdoor sunlight. Hopefully this will be helpful for you guys when you are planning a holiday look and maybe save some money with something you already have and didn't even think about. How about Sydney Grace? Let's add Sydney Grace to the mix. I think there's quite a few there's quite a few silvers and a lot of Sydney Graces. Most of them lean a certain way. In the Mel Thompson palette, from Sydney Grace, there's a few silvers I almost grabbed, but they had definite leanings, so I stayed away from them. But I'll tell you, in the light version of Enduring Love, let's look at Albert right here. That's that second shade right there. And that's kind of it actually is kind of a true silver, if there is such a thing. So now I'm going to start labeling them on my arm. I used a Wayne Goss Sapphire pencil, and you'll see that above I just put the initials of the brand, not the palette. We couldn't get too in depth. But here we go. Inside, let's look at the Enduring Love Sydney Grace Albert shade, and it is of course labeled SG for Sydney Grace, and I have labeled the Scott Barnes and Victoria Beckhams that are next to it. We are going to just keep making room on my arm, and I'm trying to twist my arm to give you a good view there. Nothing is perfect, but you know, we're getting close there. Hey, do you guys remember the Marc Jacobs Stiletto palette? I know Marc Jacobs Beauty is not at its best right now, but I actually really like his eyeshadows, and I think the Stiletto palette was really absolutely gorgeous. There is a beautiful silver shade inside of it, if I can open it here, called Sparkling. So let's show you that. This is called Sparkling. It's right here, and this one is a bit of a duochrome. It was straightforward purple enough for me to include it, and this is such a silvery palette, I thought it had to be represented. I mean, it's got a mirror as its case, but this is probably the one that leans the most to the naked eye. But let's take a look, and it will be labeled MJ, of course. Let's take a look at the Marc Jacobs Stiletto sitting next to its friends from Sydney Grace, Scott Barnes, and Victoria Beckham Beauty. All of these would make beautiful one and done looks like I have done on my eyes today. Okay, Natasha Denona has quite a few silvers. Maybe not as many as you'd think she'd have, but she does have quite a few. In fact, this really pretty silver shade in the Midi Love palette called Blind, it almost looks gray, but it still fits our needs here because it is kind of a metallic foiled shade. Maybe not as metallic as Mirror from Victoria Beckham, but it definitely works as silver. We're going to look at that along with two others that I pulled out from Natasha Denona. The Mini Zendo, not the Midi Zendo, but the Mini, the $25 Zendo, has this shade here called Stripped. I don't know if that's picking up, but you will see it in the, you'll see it on the arm swatch. That is in the Mini Zendo. That's a really pretty silver if you happen to have the Mini Zendo palette. And of course, let's not forget the Mini Xenon. This one was requested and is compared over on Instagram already. And here's Chromatic in the Mini Xenon palette, that middle shade. That really gives the Victoria Beckham a good run for its money, I think. So let's take a look on my arm now. Those are labeled, of course, ND for Natasha Denona. And they go in this order. We have the Blind shade from the Midi Love, Stripped from the Mini Zendo, and Chromatic from the Mini Xenon. Boy, Zendo, Xenon, we got a lot of things going on there. And those are all the Natasha Denona shades. Let's hop over to Dior. I like Dior Backstage better than Dior, but some Dior palettes pull me in. And this Black Night palette really did pull me in. Look at that silver shade. They've got some silver blacks and onyxes, which didn't work for our purposes here. But look at this really foiled silver shade. Let's take a look at that on my arm too. We are really adding to our swatches over there. Meanwhile, I'm putting back the Dior shade that fell out while I was holding it up. Okay, so there we go. We have Black Night, the silver shade in Black Night. Now, I want to include some Chanel. This is the No. 5 palette that celebrates the 100th anniversary of the No. 5 fragrance. I am not sure, you guys, if I would have included this had it not been kind of so new and for the holidays, but I want to throw in some of our new releases as well. And this has two shades in it. One is a little bit of a gold and silver, but it does have two kind of white silver shades that actually did work for our purposes here, except for the fact that they are a little bit like topper shades. They're a little hard to see. They're super pretty on the eye. A little hard to see in a swatch, but let's go for it. Take a look at them on my arm here next to the Dior. It will say Chanel or a big C. I don't know how I labeled that one. And there it is in the Chanel No. 5, two shades there compared to Dior, Natasha Denona, Marc Jacobs, Sydney Grace, Scott Barnes, and Victoria Beckham Beauty. Okay, well, it's time for Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury did not have as many silvers as I thought, unless I missed one. You know, she's very fond of the warm browns and things like that. So I found 3 really good ones. Tell me if you think I missed any. In the Starlight palette of pops, the Starlight palette of pops, there is a really pretty enhanced silver shade. That's this one right here that my finger's on. I'm not sure if the light is picking it up, but you'll see it in the swatch. And then, of course, you thought, if you've been a fan of Charlotte Tilbury for a while, of course you thought of Rock Chick, right? So we've got a really pretty pop shade in the Rock Chick palette right here that my finger is on. It's just a kind of a celestial shade lid topper, but that's right there. And the best of her silver shades, the one that I do already have on Instagram, and it does rival the Victoria Beckham, is in the Starry Eyes to Hypnotise 12-pan palette. Take a look first in the pan at the enhanced shade from the Seduce Glow. Yep, is it? Yep, Seduce Glow. This trio right here, the enhanced shade is a very pretty silver. Again, if the camera doesn't pick it up, don't worry, you will see it on the arm swatch. Still in studio lighting. Let's go to those Charlotte Tilbury arm swatches, which will start the second row on my arm. I'm starting to run out of room. So you will see those labeled CT, but I left all the other swatches above it, of course. Speaking of recently released palettes for Holiday 2021, as I was, not with the Charlotte Tilbury, but with the others, how about this Gucci palette? There is a silver in here that will rival any silver, let me tell you, lest we not forget. There is a beautiful silver right there in this floral Gucci palette, this new Gucci eyeshadow palette, relatively new I should say, right here, right next to this really bright light blue. We have a beautiful silver in there. Wait till you see it on the arm swatch, which you will right now on the second row next to the 3 Charlotte Tilburys. There is that Gucci shade. Boy, if you have that palette or you bought it even as a collector's item, pull that out as a one and done for the holidays and you will be happy, happy, happy. Pat McGrath. Tell me what I'm missing here, guys. I was sitting on the floor surrounded by my Pat McGrath palettes, as you do, right? Looking, and there's not a ton of silvers. Hold on, you're going to go, yes, there are. No, there's not a ton of straightforward foiled silvers. There's a lot of silvery duochromes and multichromes and special shades and all sorts of things. I'm talking straightforward. So I have here the Mothership 4. This is the Star Wars version, but you know, it comes in different ones. And in a Mothership 4, we have, let's see, Sterling is the shade. And Sterling is a very beautiful, bright mirrored silver. This one, almost a whitish mirrored silver, right there by my fingernail on it. That is an absolutely beautiful silver shade. She doesn't have too many straightforward silvers, unless you guys can catch me missing one and I can kick myself up and down the street. That's fine. Take a look at that on my arm, sitting right there in the second row next to Gucci and labeled Pat McGrath Labs. Take a look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. And I want to round off our 20 swatches because we need to add 4 more to get to 20. And we are going to add 4 of my favorite silvers from Viseart. Oh yeah, Viseart. So the Lilas palette has a gorgeous silver. Look at that. Wow. The Lilas palette has this is the Petit Four. And then the Lapis Petit Four has an also gorgeous silver. Here's the Lapis right there. Here's the Lilas. You'll see those swatched in a moment. Don't forget the Petite Pro Shoo Shoo palette has a silver that is outstanding. Kind of a bright white silver. Look at that in the Shoo Shoo palette. Remember this little pink Petite Pro? Oh, it's so beautiful, you guys. If you forgot about that silver, I thought, oh, people should have asked me for that one for swatch comparisons. But, you know, we forget what we have in our collections. And last but not least, you got to see a very, very pretty silver in, this is our very last 20th swatch before we go outside, in this beautiful Viseart Paris Love Letter palette. There is a gorgeous silver that just kind of the last shade in the palette and the last shade that I'm going to put on my arm. Take a look at those last 4 shades from Viseart on my arm in studio lighting. That is the Lilas Petit Four, the Lapis Petit Four, the Shoo Shoo from the Petite Pro, and the Paris Love Letter silver. Pretty good, huh? Now, This is the moment I know I've been waiting for, and I'm not sure how these swatches came out because I was contorting myself so that you could see the labels. So let's see how we came out. Here we go, outside in the warm California sunshine. Look at the breadth and depth of silver when it's out in the sunlight. Some of these end up looking charcoal. Some of them go a bit gold or pink. Remember, each one of these, when in the pan, appeared to the naked eye in indoor lighting like just plain old foiled silver. If pink caught my eye or gold caught my eye, I didn't include it, or purple or anything like that. These are those that just appeared about as silver as can be in the pan. Look how different they all are on the arm next to each other in sunlight. Not all silvers are the same. Of these on my arm in the outdoor sunlight, what is your favorite? Are you interested in trying, like I've done today, a very glamorous one and done silver eye look? And if so, which would you use? Also, just, start me kicking myself down the block. What did I forget some of these I might have literally just forgotten, not known or something like that. But I bet I'm going to think, gosh, how could I have made that video and not put this in? I looked through Wayne Goss. I swore there was a really good silver in his topaz, in one of his palettes, the second one, I think. No, not really. It kind of leaned another color, and I bet there's more Pat McGrath. There has to be. So let me know what you think I forgot. Let me know what your favorites are, and if you think you would try a one and done tinselly silver eye look for maybe a holiday party or New Year's Eve, something like that. Let me know. I love to hear your comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it along with me. I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel so that I can see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.